guys, today I'm working on a log splitter. Again, it's my boss's. It's been sitting for not 5 years with the pressure washer. No, it's been about, I would say about 8 years. So definitely gonna need an oil change. Carburetor is gonna have to be either rebuilt or replaced. I don't know. Based on the history of it, it's been rebuilt 3 times with the carburetor. That is, definitely need a new air filter. Doesn't have one. Gas tank, mint, and definitely figure out about the spark plug, figure out some of the electrical stuff, and you know, we're going to sharpen the blade, service some of the hydraulic stuff, and go from there. So, enjoy the video. I'm Tyler, and this is All Freedom Block Garage. Alright guys, give you a little history on this unit. This old girl, I believe my boss bought it about, I would say about 12 years ago, and it was a workhorse for about 2.5 years of just splitting constant wood. Where we were at, we have a whole bunch of wood, so we were just cutting down some trees, using whatever wood we can use to fuel our wood burner. That's how it heats up the shop part. So, like I said, bought it about 12 years ago. It's been sitting for about 8 years itself. It's always had its list of problems. I've always took it in to get it fixed and worked on, and all that other stuff. It's a little worse for wear. You know, it needs. I did find the air filter, although it's not really the right one. It's way too small. But it's got a 9 horse. It's definitely going to need some work, okay? It's going to need oil. It's definitely going to need a gas treatment. It's going to need a new spark plug, carburetor rebuilt and replaced. I'll get into depth on the carburetor and see what I can do with it. If I can't fix it, if I can't get it running right, then we're going to have to replace it. But anything else that needs to be done will be the gas tank. It's held in by that tie. I'm going to secure that correctly. Definitely going to replace some fuel lines, put a fuel filter in for sure. It has a fuel filter in it, but I don't like how it is. And I'm going to put a clear Wix filter in it. Wix is always the best for filtration, especially for stuff that is carbureted. Any kind of Wix fuel filter is best. Now, if you're using a Wix oil filter, perfect. It has one of the best outstanding filtration. You can also go with a couple others. I can't remember, but I always use Wix on all my vehicles. Wix always filtrates all my oil. It always catches any little particles, anything. So let's get into it. All right, first things first is that we're going to take care of the carburetor. The carburetor is going to need the most work. In my opinion, I think it's going to need the most work. So I'm going to start with it first, get it out of the way. Now, let's get to it.
I discovered that I can't rebuild this carburetor. So the float's obviously sticking. It's sticking. It's really corroded bad. One of these gaskets broke, and I can't get a gasket for it. I mean, I probably could, but I could probably look around, but the only problem is that it wouldn't be exact, and then it would leak. So we're going to have to get a new carburetor. So that's always a good thing. A new carburetor is always good. But for money purposes, we always like to save. So let's get a new one. couldn't get a new one, so that was the unfortunate part. So, it's flowing perfect. I put compressed air into it. I wire brushed it as y'all were watching. Now I think it's time to finally put it. Oh, well, it got stuck. I think it's finally time to put it back on the engine and go from there. Now, I'm definitely going to get a new filter, some new fuel line, stuff like that. So, I'm not really worried about it. See you there. So I just got back from the parts store. I took out the spark plug. Spark plug looks okay. Definitely could have used it, or definitely could have went with it again. However, I wanted to get a new one, so I got a new one. I could not find a filter for an air filter for it. I could not find a carburetor for it, so I just rebuilt the carburetor. Hopefully it works. That's the hope. And I bought a new spark plug, a fuel filter, and fuel line. So I got clear fuel line, so I know what's going into the carburetor, so I know it's not junk. And I got a new filter, fuel filter. So of course it's a Wix. So let's get into it. plug in, the fuel tank strapped down. I got the new fuel line in. The carburetor's done. The old filter's back in it for the air filter. Couldn't find a new one, so there goes that. Now, before I change the oil, I want to start this. I want to make sure that it at least runs first, and two, I wanted to get a couple heat cycles so it gets all that old gross oil out of it, and when we drain it, everything comes out. So let's try and start it.
So now I got wire for the wiring. I got all the connectors I need. I don't like using butt connectors, but hey, that's what I'm gonna have to use. Got the eyes I need, and I didn't have red wire, so I can determine which switch from the power wire to the ground wire. But I mean, it is what it is. So let's get into it. Alrighty, guys. So I got the. Alright, guys. So I got the ignition switch all tied in. It's mounted. It's everything. It's all good, ready to go. So now, let's give it a shot. Flip this, pull the wire, bend it, and let's see. Oh. So guys, as you can tell, it definitely runs really nice. It does start up like a dream. That is full power right there. So now, let's try and take it down a notch. So it runs, guys. We have the ignition switch. We have that all plumbed in. We got it mounted. The